Hi, stream. Or I guess I should
Hi.
be saying furry weekend at home because this is much more than just a Twitch stream right now. Welcome to, gosh, this name is so goofy. Dr. Wildlife's Zooventure. It was originally going to be a game show. But it's Nasi and I. That's what you get tonight. Hopefully we're good enough. So we are changing it to Dr. Wildlife's Zooventure to oh, not meet the host, aka Zoology 101. Basically, what we're going to be talking about over the next hour is a fun, interactive zoology lesson. It's going to be quite a bit different than probably what you've ever had a class over. We try our best to make learning fun, and that's what we're going to be doing over the next hour. But first, just in case you have no idea who I am or who Nasi is, we have this little meet the host segment. Nasi, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi. I'm an entomologist at the University of Guelph. I do a lot of SciComm on my EntoBird Twitter account and YouTube stuff. But yeah, I just do science communication, entomologist, PhD student. Yeah.
And I'm Dr. Wildlife. In real life, I am an aquarium manager over an accredited zoo and aquarium. I have a bachelor and a master's in biology and a partial PhD in quantitative biology, which I like to tell people is if math and biology had the ugliest child you can imagine together, that's what quantitative biology is. But my background is basically in zoological institutions caring for a ton of different animals, from really small hummingbirds all the way up to elephants. But my specialty is tigers, hence um, all the tiger stuff you see behind me and the suit too, of course. Yeah. So, what is zoology? Like I said, this is a zoology class. It's going to be fun, but it is a zoology class. So we have to ask this basic question: what is zoology? Now, chat, what is zoology? I have to look over here because I'm a peasant with one monitor. Nasi has 3 monitors while I have 1. So I'm looking at my laptop.
Multitasking.
What is
Looking at all the
zoology,
chat.
chat? Study of living animals. Good. Study of animals. There's 2 good students. The rest of you,
Participate.
158 people. Study of animals. Zoology is study animals and stuff, I think. Yes, and stuff. That is a very good, honestly, like this is a legit compliment. That is actually a really good definition because zoology is a lot of stuff. I'm thinking, they said. So yeah, zoology is the study of animals, specifically the scientific study of the behavior, structure, physiology, distribution, and the classification of animals, aka stuff. So animals and stuff is what zoology is. And what we're going to do is we're going to break apart that definition over the course of the hour, starting with the classification of animals. Basically, the naming of animals. Now, obviously, the internet does a fantastic job of naming animals. We have the majestic sea flap flap, a beautiful name, beautiful, majestic animal. We have the danger noodle, which honestly, there's probably some herpetologist people or people that just love reptiles over in the chat that are like, why are you calling it a danger noodle? That's such a stereotype. It's what hurts them. And yes, I do agree. But danger noodle is a pretty clever name, especially for a cobra, I think. Then we have a trash panda, probably one of the more common, I think, or most well known internet names for animals. And now we have the fried egg jellyfish. Now, chat, do you think this is a real animal name or a fake internet name? Someone says they can feel their intelligence growing. That's
Saw that
awesome.
too.
Seems legit. Seems like a legit name. It's a real name. Bro, that's real. I like that. That one is real? Question mark.
Somebody said
Fake.
fake.
The Dyson vacuum thinks it's fake. Okay, no, it's real. It is a real common name for a jellyfish. Not the strangest they've seen. A particularly small rat. I love that display name. I need to stop looking at the chat because I'm going to see names. I love seeing names that are used in chats and games. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, fried egg jellyfish. Thank you, particularly small rat.
Rat.
Rat. Rat. Next, we have the satanic leaf-tailed gecko, which gets its name because it has a so-called kind of demonic look to it. I think they're pretty dang adorable. They have some amazing camouflage to them. They don't always look as red and freaky as this picture. So, just another common name for them. What we got here?
What we got here? This is a little bug. And we're going to actually transition to not just common names, but scientific names, because sometimes scientists don't just name things commonly in weird ways. They name things commonly in scientific ways too. And can anybody guess what this is named after? That's my first question. Anybody in chat? I would be surprised if somebody in the chat knows exactly what this is.
Someone said it's a scurry bug.
Oh, Romance, that's cheating. All right. Romance was in my stream when I was talking about this species.
Oh no. Oh, you know what?
Away.
Nothing.
What?
I think I done goofed on these slides.
Oh, you done goofed? You didn't put it in the right order? That's okay.
Next
That's
up,
okay.
we have the
okay, fine. We'll let you think on that insect for a little bit. We'll let you think on that insect. It's all good. It's all good. We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that.
The start. I swear, if there's weird things that happen during the stream that seem like it was planned and, haha, jokes, they're trying to make us laugh, no. None of those moments are planned. That's just how we are.
No wasp, only mole.
Oh, look, wow.
No. All right, we're back. We're back with the wasp now. This is actually a species of bee named after Charizard. So like I was saying, it's not just the common name that's kind of a little bit weird for this one, but the species name is genus Chilicola, species Charizard. Exactly. This one was actually named by a previous lab mate of mine. He did work with Chilean bees in this one particular genus. And there are so many insects in the world that we kind of run out of things to call them. We try to originally call them things after like whatever landscape or habitat they're a part of and that kind of thing. But for this one, we ran out of things to call it. And so my friend just was like, this bee's head kind of looks like Charizard. Let's just call it Charizard.
Does it
that's how it got its scientific name.
fire, though? I have to ask that. Does it do that?
I don't know.
So it could.
It could.
I mean, it could.
I think we just have to make a trip down to Chile and find out.
I'm fine with that. Maybe not right now. Maybe post-pandemic.
Yeah, that's
global quarantine virus stuff. Yeah. Okay. Next we have a white-bellied go-away bird, which actually is a real common name for this South African bird species, and that's because their vocalization kind of sounds like they're saying go away or screaming go away. They're a very beautiful looking bird, but their vocalization is just quite strange. Very strange. So we've been talking a lot about common names and kind of like how the naming process comes along. And you guys heard Nasi talk about scientific names and how those are used. So I raise a question to you, chat. Why are common names not commonly used in science?
Accepting answers now.
Accepting answers now.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't get prepared. We should have had like in between music.
I mean, yeah, I have everything. Chat, while you're thinking of the answer to this question, we are prepared. I have a pen. I have a notebook just in case my mic goes out. I need to signal for help. I even have a hairbrush, but no music while we're waiting. Oh, I like this answer. Someone said, because language, Latin taxonomy is more universal. I like you. A+ student right there. So, before I quite expand on like that answer you just gave, I'm gonna throw up this animal here in chat. I want you all to tell me, what do you know this animal by? No right or wrong answer.
Kitty. Big kitty.
Kitty, big kitty. If I see you type that in the chat, I'm literally gonna scream. Puma, cat, cougar, mountain lion, rat, airy. Steve French! It's Steve French! Oh my god. Nasi, do you watch Trailer Park Boys?
Oh, see, and this is bad because I'm Canadian, but no,
You're
I don't.
Canadian! You're
And I'm from the Maritimes. I'm from where it's
Oh my
from.
god! Okay, we're watching the episode with Steve French.
Okay.
Right now.
Right now? Okay.
Yeah, that's what the rest of this stream is.
Yeah.
Catamount, panther, big kitty. Yeah. So, joking names aside, you guys have probably seen a lot of pretty valid names in there, and you've probably almost all heard those used to refer to this animal at some point in time. This cat actually has 40 different names in the English language alone. That's because this particular species has one of the biggest ranges out of any animal in the world. So they're found all the way up in Canada, aka Steve French, all the way down into South America, and throughout the United States, throughout Central America, Mexico. They're everywhere. And because there were so many different types of people that encountered this animal, they all called it different things. And I mean, this is just the English language alone. If you think about it, there's a multitude of other languages, native languages, smaller languages, and of course, like Spanish and Portuguese, some of the more well known. And they all also refer to them as a different animal. So we use scientific names to standardize that process. Like someone said earlier in the chat, Latin taxonomy keeps things more universal. In science, it helps us know what someone's referring to instead of having to play the guesswork. Thank you, Dyson Vacuum, for the compliment. So we're getting back into scientific names. Nasi, your post would have made more sense here, but it's too late. We're live. There's no taking back.
Fine. Charizard had his place.
Charizard at his moment. So scientific names are often kind of weird, like common names too. I won't expand too much on this, but this is a group of slime mold beetles named after the Bush administration. Next slide. This is a trilobite, prehistoric critter. Its scientific name is Han Solii, or Han Solo. Makes my nerdy senses happy. Chat, who is this person? Aries, our little teaching assistant. Ari asked, what kind of bug is this? Ah, yeah, Ashen is first with the answer. It is Mick Jagger. And there is a species of prehistoric hippo that is named after Mick Jagger. I think, chat, you know why it has that name. Don't really have to expand on that, right? What is that hippo?
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is an artist rendering because we only know this animal from fossils, but I really hope it looks exactly like that. So one way we group animals and decide where they're going to fit into like different classifications is based on morphology, or basically how an animal looks, and that could be something on the outside like that creepy prehistoric hippo, to things like skull morphology. And don't worry, I know this is probably a bunch of names that some of you have never seen ever, and your head is probably smoking and about to explode looking at some of these. That's fine. Even I sometimes get that feeling when I look at this. But basically, different types of animals have a different number of skull openings behind their eyes. So that really, really big eye that the big hole that you're seeing is the eye portion of the skull, and behind it is just different types of skull openings. So on here, an apsid is commonly turtles, and that is like null skull opening.
Take yourself. I'm GECKO.
much. Then we have diapsid, which is 2 skull openings, and that is things like birds and reptiles. And I'm going to skip down to that last one, synapsid. Synapsid is an animal that has 1 skull opening, and that's things like mammals. So we have 1 skull opening, turtles, 2 skull openings, birds, reptiles, etc., and synapsid, which is mammals. So knowing that information, chat, what would you say this animal is? What do you know this animal as? It could be something generic, it could be its actual name, or something based on the information I just told you. Dimetrodon.
Kitty.
Kitty. Yeah. So what is Dimetrodon? What group of animals would you say Dimetrodon belongs to, huh? Bone rat. Oh my god.
Weird dog.
2 feet boy. Ashton has to be a zoologist. Mammal-like reptile. That is that is my star student. That's my star student right there. Ari, I know you're probably gonna get a little heartbroken hearing that, but you're the teacher's assistant. You're important. Just as important. But the Ashton is the star pupil of the chat right now. Mammal-like reptile. So we often call Dimetrodon a dinosaur. I sometimes even refer to it as a dinosaur because it was so ingrained in my head when I was younger that these guys were dinos, and they are not. They are mammal-like reptiles. What you're looking at is one of our ancestors, because unlike most reptiles that rely on the external environment, like the sun, to regulate their temperature, Dimetrodon could actually regulate their temperature much like we can. And they primarily did it through their sail, which is pretty dang cool. So yeah, that is a mammal-like reptile. Moving on, we're continuing through this definition. Zoology is also the scientific study of the behavior of animals. Nasi, take it away.
We're starting off on a high note here with some sex. So,
Spider time.
spider sex, yes. One of the things that spiders do when they're to avoid some predation, corpulent, no, I just about to say copulus, which is like praying mantises, males after they mate, and gifts of food. Spiders are kind of weird of behavior. We study them in lots of different ways.
And I love the emojis that were being shared. This one was my favorite. As you were describing it. Someone said spiders are romantic.
Yeah,
They
they
are.
have so they don't
Give
get
gifts.
eaten.
Give gifts. Give gifts.
Give gifts.
So, I have cheetahs in here because a lot of my friends have cheetahs as sonas or characters, and so I have to rag on my friends from time to time. So I have the majestic cheetah, one of the fastest animals out there. They actually have basically cleats built into their feet to help with running and turning and chasing prey. Their claws don't retract like a stereotypical house cat. They stay out, and that's to help them always be prepared for running. There's a bunch of gifts on, which I can see lighting up. My says awesome. Whoever did that, for thanks for helping out FWA with that. But yeah, cheetahs, as majestic as they are, they're just big old scaredy cats. And I'm really sorry. I'm sure there's a few of you, there may even be some FWA broadcast team members listening to this that are about to cut the stream as I say this. But cheetahs, big scaredy cats, big old wimps of the big cat world. Unlike, tigers, of course. Tigers aren't anything like that. But cheetahs, they are. In fact, they're such scaredy cats that when they're raised in zoos to be like an ambassador animal, like those cheetahs you see go out on education programs and such, or if you tune in to Virtual Furnace's stream this past weekend, their charity actually had like a little video of them with their cheetah and talking about cheetahs. When zoos raise cheetahs, they actually raise them alongside a companion animal, specifically, usually a Labrador, a dog, because cheetahs look to that dog for reassurance. So they're seeing that dog is calm around people, and the cheetah's like, oh, I should be calm. So in a way, cheetahs have like a little emotional support dog, or a little service dog that helps them out. Oh gosh. Originally we were gonna have one of our friends join us who has a cheetah character, and I can hear him in my head. He's not actually in with us, but I can hear him yelling right now. They trainable by dog sensitization. Yeah, that's what it is. So they base that dog for support, and if the dog is calm, then they're calm as well. We're some. I see people saying hashtag called out.
Called out.
Oh yeah, if you humans that have cheetah characters, you gotta share information with them. They do have anxiety. Anxiety. Oh, now we're back.
we're back in the wrong place again. So it's zoology stuff.
Oh no! Don't look, Dusty, I am ashamed.
Shame. Okay, that's okay. We'll come back to this.
Someone said we took a hard
We took a hard turn from cute cheetahs to fly faces.
I mean, honestly, we could come back to it. We could have a dramatic, like, scroll back through all the slides.
Just think on this, chat. Think on this for a little bit. What the heck do you think is going on?
What the heck is this? These slides are a roller coaster. Yes.
Yep. What a strange dog. I like it.
I like it. Oh, a dog has so many eyes.
Yes, we'll come back to what's going on here in a little
Honestly, I don't know what to expect around the corner. What this next slide is. Who knows?
Oh, wild and zoology.
It could be a nug. It could be a Pokemon. In chat, you may be thinking, what the heck? Yes, there's Pokemon in this present. Oh, okay. I really thought that's what it was gonna be. It's no lip. So they're highly adapted for life in really snowy, cold environments. They have a really, really thick fur. They have big old paws to help in the snow. And they also have a really bushy tail. Now, that tail serves two purposes. One, when they're chasing down prey like mountain goats, it kind of serves as a rudder to basically give them balance while they're running, especially if they're running down hillsides, mountains, etc. But also, and I really hope there's not a bug on the next slide.
Uh-oh.
I'm so scared. Oh, okay, it's not.
It's not. I've thrown in little grenades into the slides. We'll see what we get next time.
So, they also can use their tails for warmth. So a lot of people think snips do this to be cute, and I mean that is honestly pretty dang adorable. But they'll also use it to keep themselves warm. So they'll like hold their tail to keep their face warm. They'll like wrap it around their paws. It's like a little scarf that is attached to them, like a little blanket. Humps, says somebody. Yeah, tails are important. What is happening in the Twitch chat? Limited to is that like some sort of hype train thing going on? I've never witnessed one of those. I have
Zoology
no
hype in the
It
chat.
is a hype train. Zoology hype train. It's the bugs that are doing it. It's not my slides. It's not mine.
It's sudden fly faces.
It's the snap train. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm so
We just don't know what's coming next.
I don't know what's next. Oh, birds!
Birds!
Oh, thank God. Okay, so so Nazi opened up the floor when it came to behavior by talking about spider sex. So, and y'all were saying spiders were really romantic. So here's a little bit more romance. Some bird species actually have the same mate for their entire lives. And sometimes these birds are very, very cute ones, like this. And it's very obvious how they got a mate that wanted to stay with them for the rest of their lives. And then we have this bird. I was worried it was going to be a bug.
Really good. Then we have these birds.
And it's like an ant.
Yeah.
This is a patoo. Normally when we do this panel in person at cons, we actually have a friend, Bobby Corwin, who has a patoo suit, and having him on stage with us is the funniest thing because it looks like this picture. So you may think, the patoo, how could they ever have a lifelong mate? But they do. They have one of the longest, like, monogamous relationships ever, which is crazy to think about. That there are birds that think that is something to look at. Something to look at. Patoo, how do you do? Who hit this thing with a shovel?
Oh,
Okay,
no.
you just downgraded from an A+ student to a B+ with that comment, Ashton.
A+ in my class.
There's a hype train still going. Hype train for Patoo. It started out with a snap and now we're just going.
Keep it rolling, Chad.
I'm sorry. That's okay. B+ is better than some other options. Eye of the beholder. Thank you, a particularly small rat. And then we have this. Every slide that is not a bug, I'm just like.
See, it's devastating to me.
So I just want to say before we talk about this slide, you know, I'm ragging on Nasi pretty heavily here, but I do think bugs are awesome. I will say, before anybody calls me out on twitter.com about that, I do like bugs. I do like them. I love all of them. Do I love them as much as tigers or sea otters? No.
Yes.
But I don't hate them. It's just the predicament we are in currently, where the bug slides are just randomly appearing in an order that I did not anticipate them being in, is just shaking me to my core.
And I'm very glad for it.
It's like when you're in your bedroom and you see something scurry out of the corner of your eye, and there's a giant, and you did not expect it. I mean, if there was a sea otter that scurried across your floor versus a spider, I mean, there is a very big difference
Yeah, you
between
love
the two.
the spider. The sea otter can shoot.
What?
Get out of here.
Yeah, you like get.
Yeah. No
You
good.
get
No clothes here for you. No hairs.
You have a can of Otter Be Gone sprayed.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't read the chat, Nasi. Don't read the chat.
Wait, what?
Don't read the chat.
No.
No.
No. No squish. Sad.
Oh, Oven just heard you talk. Oh yeah, Oven. Nasi hates otters. Did you hear that?
Oh, I
They hate
them.
them. They hate them.
Ugh.
It's eating a banana. Oh, it does look like a banana. It's not a
Yeah.
banana. I'm so sorry. It is a.
Piece of kelp.
It's kelp. Yeah. I just spaced on what. I love jumping spiders.
Yeah, jumping spider is great. Spider love in the chat.
I
Spider
do
love
not.
in the chat.
I do not love bananas. If anybody gives me a banana at a con, I will promptly walk away. I will say thank you, but then I will walk away. Okay,
Bananas good.
sea otters. I can't just keep ranting about
No.
the random slides. I'm sure the random slides will have their moment. They'll show up again.
Yeah.
Another really cute behavior in the animal kingdom is how sea otters manage to stay together, even when there's like a lot of waves and a very active ocean. So most of you, if not all of you, probably know this, but sea otters sleep out on the ocean. They sleep on their backs and they live in big groups. And one way that they stick together is they hold paws. They hold their little paws so they don't float apart. So somewhere out in the ocean right now, actually in a lot of areas of the ocean right now, there are groups of sea otters sleeping and they're all holding hands. Spiders could never. Spiders would never do that. Neither would ants.
Lies.
You were muted. I was like,
I know. I
was
had to.
like, why
I had
aren't
to
you
mute for a
defending
second.
yourself yet?
I had to compose myself, but that's lies. There's too much otters on the screen right now. I need more spiders. Bugs! Shouldn't have shouted that loud. My bad. All right,
Okay.
we're coming back to this too. The order is this, and then the other fly slide for later. But chat, just get ready. There's going to be some fly talk coming. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just
Okay.
reading the chat. Like everybody's like, "Oh, man, we're back."
And we're back. We're back to bug chat. All right.
Yeah, tell me about these. This is your slide. This is
Yeah.
your specialty.
This is
I'm
physiology again.
waiting. So do I need to go back? Are we going back again? Okay.
We're going back to this one first, and then the other one where we get to the like physiology stuff.
Nazi, oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the fly, but you're not done. You're not done the behavior.
What?
No, there's more behavior after bugs.
Oh my god. Y'all, wear your mask and wash your hands so Nasi and I could do this in person and don't have to go through this. Wear your mask. Okay. Okay, back to behavior. We're back on track for now. So, we've been talking a lot about cute behavior. There's some really funny behavior, even funnier than both of us, that occurs out in the wild. So here we have a small herd of elephants. There's even some children in this shot. I just realized there's some babies. And what they're doing is they are eating from a marula fruit tree. Specifically, they are eating fermented marula fruit. These elephants are getting drunk right now. You thought they were innocent. They are not.
Drunk zoology.
Drunk zoology for a small time. So, elephants often go to fermented fruit and will gorge themselves on it. And this is a series of photos of some drunk elephants that a safari expedition came across. And this isn't just like a one time behavior, it happens pretty commonly. And it's not just elephants that do it. All sorts of animals will eat fermented fruit and get drunk off of it and seemingly enjoy it, which is pretty entertaining. But drinking fermented fruit isn't the only weird thing that happens in the animal kingdom. This is a poppy field used for the pharmaceutical industry. This specific one, I believe, is out in Australia, and they grow poppy in like very large quantities out there. And for a while, there were these weird structures that kept appearing in poppy fields, and these farmers had no idea what was happening. And it turns out these cute little wallaby would show up. They'd eat a bunch of the poppy. And they would get so high out of their minds that they would spin in circles all night and leave crop circles. So this is a crop circle made by wallabies that just they had a great night, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, or they were just lost in a circle. It's hard to say. Could be enjoyable. Could someone said girls' night? Yeah, so it's actually a big problem in the pharmaceutical industry and where these farms are because wallaby just like show up and they just decimate the field, which is just wild to think about. I want to believe wallabies are aliens. Yeah, they just, oh my god. It's wild.
Wallabies, wild.
Yeah, and now we're back to Aries' favorite subject, monkeys and primates. That was
Nope. Yeah, that
your
was a quick
favorite.
reaction.
So, like I was talking about elephants, monkeys, of course, Well, specifically, great apes are our closest living relatives. Monkeys, decently close compared to some other parts of the animal kingdom. So they share a lot of human-like characteristics with us, of course, and one of those is drinks. Specifically, they steal drinks. So when there's a bunch of tourists around, they not only steal their snacks, but they will drink the leftover alcoholic beverages, and they will partake in it. So
Finally, where are we at?
finally, we are to the structure and physiology. So moving along within our definition of zoology. Nasi, would you
Yes.
like me to go backwards?
I think it's time to go back in time. We've been
Okay.
hinting at it for the past 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
We'll start. So we'll start at the. No, we'll do this. We'll do this. What does everybody think is going on here in the chat? Fly. Yes. Yeah, that is exactly what's going on here. Fly selfie. Fly eye. Yeah. All right. I want you to fixate on the like white part in front of the head that's going on there. Flies have adapted this really super strange physiology. So if we want to go back to that other slide, the one where it's showing like the life cycle. There it is. There you go. All right. All right. So the life cycle of a typical fly is that you start as a maggot, the little wormy thing. Well, you start as an egg, but then you grow up into a maggot, little wormy thing that eats decaying things. And then between the larvae, the maggot, and the adult, there's a stage called the pupae. And the pupae is like a cocoon that you have for like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, right? Flies, in order to get out of their pupal case, they have evolved to open up their head and expand the inside of their head, their inside flesh, into a balloon that pushes open the pupal case. It like pretty much pops open the top, and then the balloon comes back into their head closes up, and then they fly away. And that's the only purpose of the inside of the head balloon, is to open up the pupal case. They could just use their arms. They could push it open, which most flies do. But house flies, they have this inside their head balloon that they use to open up their pupal case. Yeah, insect physiology is weird.
Head balloon.
Head balloon. Head balloon.
I don't know if you saw, but my primary reason for making a weird face at you the entire time you were talking about that was the fact that someone said mini hot dogs and rice. And I was listening to you, but you know, like the Peanuts, the Peanuts adult voices. That's how you were in my head, because I read that and I zoned out. And I just couldn't. I was just staring at the chat, and then I tuned back in when you said head balloon.
Head balloon.
Also, chat. This is Nyla. Nyla, say hi. It's your first zoology 101. You never get to be in the panel, but here you are. What?
We were talking about the fact that mammal dinosaur was a kitty before. Now this is a dinosaur mammal.
It's a dinosaur, everybody. Welcome the dinosaur into the chat. Nyla, yeah. Oh.
We're back to elephants, drunk elephants.
Okay, we're back. Oh, this is actually perfect. Thank you, Nyla. See, Nyla knew. Nyla was tired of hearing about maggots. Nyla, where you go?
Nyla, come on.
Nyla,
don't rag on my bugs.
Just in time. Once again, y'all, none of this. I mean, it is pre-planned, obviously. We know what we're talking about, but these moments, like this cat showing up, I'm not going to mess with the webcam just in case something weird happens. So we have Nyla joining us. Nyla, you showed up just in time. We're talking about structure and physiology. Specifically, we're going to talk about cats. So cats are pretty dang adorable. Sometimes this one's a little heathen, and I'm sure your cats at home have those moments too. But of course, if a cat licks you or something, it tickles, and people think it's cute. But I'm here to tell you it is actually a terrifying thing, because the reason why a cat's tongue tickles when they lick you is because they have keratin-like spikes on their tongues that they have evolved over time, due to the need to lick fur off flesh and flesh off bone. So that's why when your own little Nyla at home licks you and it tickles, it's because of highly evolved keratin spikes for cleaning flesh off bone.
And people think maggots are gross.
Oh, come on. It also helps them drink water. That is true. That is true. Okay, Nyla. No, I don't think there's any more cats. I actually don't know. Nyla, shield your eyes. It could be a bug.
No.
It's not. It's not a bug. We made it. We made it, Nyla. We made it out of the
past the
bug zone. Oh no,
bug
there's more
zone.
bugs coming up. Y'all, if
Yeah.
y'all saw my tweet earlier, sometime during this, we're going to talk about the worst story Nasi has ever told.
The worst story Nasi's ever
Coming
told.
coming up soon.
To date, there are worse, but regardless.
There are worse. So it's really funny. There's a lot of inaccuracies in media when it comes to animals or just zoology in general. I mean, don't even get me started on how terrible Shark Week is overall, because that could be a whole panel on its own of Dr. Wildlife dislikes Shark Week. But some shows are actually surprisingly educational, and one of those is Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Specifically in Finding Nemo, the clownfish, what is his name? Marlin? I always forget his name. I do this every time we do this panel.
I think it's Marlin.
Okay, Marlin. I only know Nemo, and that's his dad. So Nemo's dad and Dory don't get along at all. And you would think that, oh, that's just character development. But actually, in the aquarium world or out in the ocean, blue tangs and clownfish actually don't really get along at all. Sometimes you can have them in the same habitat, but it has to be a decently big one. But their personalities just clash. And that show actually did a really great job of detailing that relationship between them. That's sad. I guess so. I guess it's sad.
I just like the tone. That's sad.
That's sad. Next up, what movie is this from?
Nasi's favorite movie.
Dory is a tank, but there are some tangs that are referred to as surgeonfish. Wallaby eggs.
Wallaby.
Yeah, boy, aliens, says somebody. So, cheaper by the dozen. Yeah.
Oh god. True.
Yeah. So, Nyla, what are you? Nyla doesn't like that. She was like nipping at me. She's like, I don't want to talk about Alien. I want to talk about cats. So this is from Alien. I added this on here because, for those of you that have seen it, the alien acts much like a parasite. So it has different stages. It has an egg stage, and then it needs a host, and then it eventually becomes a really big, like, self-sustaining creature. But my other cat is howling in the kitchen now. That's the joy of doing panels from home. But much like some parasites do in the real world, these creatures need a host to survive, and then they basically burst out. So we're going to leave that with you and move on to the next slide. Oh no, this isn't any better. Okay, so I'll tell my part of the story, and then we'll unleash Nasi on y'all.
Ooh.
So this is an entomologist who tweeted this last year and said, one of my mosquito bites from Peru keeps tingling, and this is me, that I finally got a botfly. Nasi, can you share with the class why this is so exciting and why entomologists are so strange?
This is so exciting because it means everybody in chat right now can become a parent if they want to.
Aries says, not again, not again. No, 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 no.
Yeah, it's happening, Ari. All right. So my story associated with this kind of similar, except maybe a little bit different. I have done field work in South America, and South America has these botflies. And for those of you that don't know, botflies are very much like alien, where they lay an egg underneath your skin, and a little bump starts to grow underneath your skin, and it's kind of like a zit or something, feels like that. But there's a maggot that grows underneath your skin, and eventually they'll pupate, and then they fly off from inside your arm. Most people get these removed. They're pretty common in South America. So most people get these removed. You can kill off the maggot inside your arm, or you can like have it bury into a piece of meat and get it out. But as an entomologist, it's my sworn duty to experience all of the aspects of my study organisms. So I went to South America, did field work, and I got a botfly. And I decided to raise it out of my arm. And so I just let it grow, and I let it grow, and it just, you can feel it wriggle, and it comes out for air, and it's really cute. And then a few weeks later, you'll have a budding baby boy come out of your arm and fly off to make new babies. My botfly story.
So that is the worst story that Nasi has ever told. Hence the tweet that I posted to get people into this stream. This is what you waited over 45 minutes for. I hope you enjoyed this.
You get to hear about my child.
Yeah, so 45 minutes leading up to this point. We actually have documentation. This was at FC earlier this year. And this was during our drunk zoology panel, which is like an 18 plus panel that we do. And we had a whiteboard, and we had our friend Bolty drawing along as a teacher's assistant while we all talked. And this is what Bolty drew up. The picture doesn't really.
Oh, did your mic just, maybe my audio's off? Lost audio. Oh no, Doc. Your audio's gone. This, we said, oh no, we said this was gonna happen. We said this was gonna happen if the audio just goes off. Holy cow. Yeah, Doc has a notepad just in case the audio goes off. This is hilarious. Yeah, so I'll keep telling the story until Mike gets the audio back on. But yeah, I told this story at FC in front of a live audience, and Bolty illustrated the whole thing. And clearly she didn't enjoy the story very much. But I don't know. I think my son is cute. Who else thinks my son is pretty cute? Who else would raise a botfly from their arm and chat? I mean, I think it's a pretty beautiful thing becoming a parent, right?
Am I back? I think.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh my God! I was like, "What are you
happened.
laughing about? I can't hear you." And then I realized, oh my God. Okay, I had my notepad ready. See, that was the reason that I had this, and I didn't even know. Okay, we're good. We're good here.
Good.
It's Nasi telling botfly stories for 20 more minutes. No, that's not what's gonna happen. I'm back and guiding this experience. So, and yeah, we're almost done. So.
Lucky chat.
See, when issues happen, we just keep rolling, right? Like we got this.
We got
So this is all of our reactions to this, and I want to focus on this moment. And Ari, I'm so sorry. But
this photo
just had to be shown, mainly because of these reactions.
Yeah. Let's see in chat. Okay, so you can find Doc and I on Twitter. I'm Entobird, and Doc is Dr. Wildlife. Please, to the tweets you put out today, post photos of your reactions to the story today. That'd be good.
Yeah, please. So, for the sake of time, I'm gonna skim over this Pokemon story, but feel free to ask us about Pokemon on Twitter. I just want to make sure that we have some time for questions towards the end here. So we're gonna end on the note that zoologists are weird. They are very, very strange. I think we're the perfect example of this.
Yeah.
We are a tad more professional in our academic lives. But overall, zoologists are just
I
strange.
don't know.
Yeah, okay. Zoologists are strange.
Yeah.
Completely. So we have just a couple more minutes, and then FWA's broadcast team has to get ready for the next crew to come along. So a couple questions if chat has anything for us. Oh, what did you name your son?
What did I name my son? You know what? I named my son at the time Fred. Fred was his name. Just because I had a scientist that was going out in the field with us and then had to leave early. And so we still wanted Friend along with us in the field. And so we called him Fred. Freaky Fred, sure. Yeah, that's what he is.
Freaky Fred. How many otters are appropriate? I think you can never have too many, to be honest.
False. One otter's too. One otter in the house is too many. Get it out.
Nasi gets the broom and just starts yelling, shoving them out.
Get out of here.
Oven always shows up when you're hating on otters. I love that. Why does my dog sound like a pigeon? Oh. What?
No, I 100% identify with this. My in-laws' dog sounds like a pigeon as well. I don't know. It's a zoological marvel. I've been studying it for at least 7 years now. And I think it's just because the dog has officially swallowed a pigeon and just has its voice forever. That's my hypothesis.
Did being a zoologist have an effect on what persona you chose? Absolutely. I mean, for me, I started out in the fandom as having protogen, but made the transition into having more of a tiger character just because my main field of work is with tigers. And Nasi and I talk about this quite often. It's like becoming your study animal, morphing that passion for that animal and want to educate others about them into a character or online identity. So absolutely, it had an effect. And Nasi, you can chime in if you have anything else to add about that.
Yeah, I mean, so I have a griffin character behind me. I have a deer and a griffin character, but the griffin character in particular, I had put together the species composition, which is like a marvelous spatula-tailed hummingbird and a ring-tailed mongoose, because there were two species that are at risk in their local environments, and nobody really knows about them other than the locals to those regions because they're very regionally specific. So I was like, I want to choose the most unique kind of out there, but also endangered species that I can to form this like griffin character. And it's pretty cool because it's allowed me to talk about it with people that I meet. Like, what is your character? Well, it's these two endangered species. You should check them out because they're really beautiful and important.
Mm-hmm. Someone asked, have you had to work with paleontologists for zoological research? I specifically have not. Have you?
I have, actually. So during my master's work, I did work on ant genetics and ant phylogenetics. And one of the biggest and most influential papers to be published in myrmecology, which is the study of ants in the past 10 years, is like a phylogeny, which is like a branching related pattern of a species or a family's evolution through time. And a lot of the work that was done on that phylogeny was based on the fossil record. So a lot of ants in amber and that kind of thing. And so I had to collaborate with a lot of paleontologists to do some of the phylogenetic work that I was doing.
Dyson Vacuum asked, they really wanted to know what started my interest in animals and why did I get that job? So I grew up on a farm down a dirt road in Arkansas. That's pretty much all I knew for the majority of my life. I grew up around cattle, farm animals like chickens, ducks, and stuff like that, and worked really closely with our veterinarian, and wanted to pursue a career in vet med. And because of that, I was like working at various zoos and such, trying to get more varied experience so I could be more competitive at these applications. And along the way, I got a job working at Tiger Sanctuary, and I started working with tigers and was leading these educational tours to introduce people to the tigers. And being around tigers and being educated about all the issues they face out in the wild made me realize that I didn't want to work just with sick animals. I didn't want to do just medicine. I wanted to do conservation work and have an impact on helping keep these animals around for future generations and show people why they're worth saving. So, to kind of circle back, growing up on that farm is what started my foundation for wanting to have a career with animals. And working with tigers for the first time is what put me in the direction that I am going in today. Let's see. Someone asked sandcats versus snow leopards. Snow leopards, hands down. I'm not biased.
What's the scientist called that studies just species traits? Well, if it's just species traits, I think that's like the physiology or what differentiates every species. That's what I am gathering probably from species traits, and that's taxonomy. So that's how you differentiate different organisms based on their species traits, things that make that species what species it is. Yeah.
Cool. Well, it looks like the questions are slowing down, and we're also nearing the end of our time. So as a quick reminder, I'm Dr. Wildlife. You can find me under Dr. Wildlife pretty much on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, etc., etc. Nasi, if you want to tell people where they can find you.
Sure. I'm at Entobird, so ENTOBIRD, on all social media. So they're on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all kinds of things, Instagram. We also have a podcast, if you're interested in hearing us talk like this more regularly, called Phyla and Fandom. And you can find that on Twitter and Spotify.
Yeah, if you want to hear us act a fool all the time, tune into that podcast. We're trying to work on more episodes soon. It's just when we have, we do it for fun. We do the podcast as a hobby, so coordinating can be a bit difficult. But definitely make sure you're following on those platforms, and so you don't miss a episode. Cool. Right. So thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to stay along with this Twitch channel for all the other amazing things on the schedule. Follow Furry Weekend, support Furry Weekend, and we thank Furry Weekend for having us. If y'all want more weird nerdiness, be sure to hit us up on social media. Otherwise, we hope y'all enjoy the rest of your night with Furry Weekend at home.
Yeah. See you later.